So let's just not make this a gender thing. But most guys I know don't go out and do tell-alls about their marriage. I'll just say this: I love my wife, and I plan on being married to you forever. If you ever try to leave me, I'm going with you. Seriously, you say, baby, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, where are we going, baby? I'm gonna be in the suitcase. So just know, I love my wife. I want to ride it till the wheels fall off. But if we ever had a parting of ways, I will never at any point, I don't care how juicy the interview is, I don't care how open it is, I don't care how much attention it gives me. I will never be like, well, let me tell you about how horrible my marriage was to my wife. I was sick as a dog and I was going through it and with all the abuse that I had to deal with, I just it's over now and I'm so happy. I'm not going to do that because that doesn't just make you look bad. I personally think it would make me look bad. It makes me look bad because part of emotional intelligence to me is always remembering it takes two to tango, and that there's accountability for everybody when a relationship goes bad. And so the fact that you have so many scenarios where it's like woman is a hero, man is the villain. That's what it comes down. That's what a lot of these things come down to: is the man is the villain, and there's nothing else there. And people don't mention the fact, for example, that I don't know what Tisha's relationship situation is, but I know Dwayne just got engaged again. So there's some woman that really loves the hell out of this man. So I would love to hear both sides of the story. If I can't hear both sides, then don't tell me your side. Don't try to make a tell-all
Okay,
movie biopic that makes you into the hero. I don't want to hear all that. It's y'all's relationship. Keep it between y'all. That's how I feel. I don't know if anybody
I
else
don't
believes.
think
Go
that
ahead.
listen, what Tisha Campbell said was not a tell-all, boys. She never said this man abused me. She never said this man was horrible husband. She never said anything negative about him. She just said this relationship didn't work for me. That's really what I heard her say. So you're adding things to it. Her conversation, it was one statement that she felt like she needed to share. Now, a tell-all would be, oh, let me tell you what he did and going through point, 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 point. But what she's talking about, hold on, let me finish. What she's talking about, what are you talking about, boys? What she is
No,
saying,
she's publicly
she's
accused him.
inspiring. She's
She has
talking.
accused him of things before. Did you know that? I'm sorry. I couldn't. I was about to bust it. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be
I'm
quiet
sticking to
and
this
listen.
topic because
Yeah, but let me
here's
just
the
let me just
thing.
say let me just say. Of course, it didn't work out for you. If it worked out for you, you still be married. We already know it didn't work out for you. We just don't know the details. And these
Yeah. So the
publications.
details would be a
These,
tell-all. She's
right.
not
Well, you
telling
know what?
all.
Remember this. Okay, let me tell you. Let me finish. I didn't finish reading this Essence article. Listen to this. Campbell filed for divorce from Dwayne Martin, whom she married in 1996 and had her sons with. In 2018, years after the divorce, apparently, I don't know how many years ago it's been, she accused him of physical abuse as well as mental and emotional abuse shortly after they married. So to me, it's like, I'm not saying, again, I'm not advocating or condoning abuse ever, right? Abuse is wrong. We know these things. But when you say I was mentally abused, do you know how many men I know who can make a legitimate claim that the woman that they're married to or dating has mentally or emotionally abused them? And do you know what a slippery slope that is? Because that is such an ambiguous statement. Like I could say, Alicia, I need you to cook for me naked in the kitchen every day, and also let me have $1 million. And then you say no, and then I go ballistic and say she's emotionally abusive because she would not give me what I wanted. That to me is the problem. If you have evidence that somebody's just beating you up and it's crazy or whatever, I get that, and we know that abuse does happen. But it seems like everybody who doesn't want accountability also jumps on the abuse bus, and I think that there should be more clarity there, or there should just be no transparent. Just don't talk. Move on. I don't
Now,
understand
I
why
didn't
people
know
can't
that
just move.
she
Go ahead,
she
please.
talked about physical violence and emotional violence, and that happens in a lot of relationships. Okay,
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
especially emotional abuse. Like that
Yes,
happens. That's very common. It's one
yes.
out of every three marriages has some level of emotion, what would be considered emotional abuse. Okay, or you say things hurtful to somebody, and that person has to feel. I mean, in order for it to be abusive, the person on the receiving end has to be, has to feel hurt by what you're saying, even though behaviors can be abusive. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but we're sticking to what she talked about in this particular interview. And I didn't see her. I see some growth in her. Now, the fact that he is engaged now and has started over again and wants to be married again, I think that's positive. I mean, I think that it doesn't mean that he's not flawed. Maybe it means that he's got treatment and he's a new person and he wants to get it right this time. Maybe he recognizes that not everything was copacetic, in the first marriage, and he wants to try again. I mean, I think that that's beautiful in and of itself, because for somebody to be courageous enough to get married again, that means that they believe in love and believe in marriage and want to try to get it right the second time. So all of that is okay. And she's processing her experiences and what she's went through, which is not a tell-all. It's her sharing her lived experience and how she's overcome where she was at one point and how she's overcome and made it to another point. That's not a tell-all. That's a memoir. That's where you're going through life lessons and here's what I've learned. And she's putting it out there so that the public, the people who love her, can learn from her experience. So, I mean, I like to see it more of inspiring. I don't want to hear about her calling people names and putting people down and just a tell-all. That's never, I don't think that's ever kind to do to somebody. But inspiring, yes.